Go, go, Power Rangers. Thank you. I'm Dallas, a.k.a. Black Power, and welcome back to the Creative Differences podcast. And I think Power Rangers was the first VHS I had when I was a kid.
Ooh.
Yeah, old school. Day of the Dumpster.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's impressive. You're old.
Wow.
I'm Colin, and I have never seen a single episode of Power Rangers.
You had no childhood.
I had a great childhood, actually.
You missed out.
I just didn't watch the things that you watched.
I don't believe you had a great childhood.
Okay.
Given what you've told me about your, like, the things you used to watch, more of the things you didn't watch.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, this don't add up. Childhood was trash.
And I'm Demi, and there was no way I was going to let these guys talk about Power Rangers without me. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture-related items. Once again, we are talking about Power Rangers. I feel like this is the third episode we've talked about Power Rangers.
Is it the third?
It is, yeah.
We did a fan cast.
And we did a throwback for the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. Now we are doing a throwback for the 2017 Power Rangers.
Yes, it turned 5 recently. Happy 5th birthday.
We love you. Or either.
Yeah, same.
Colin doesn't.
We'll find out Colin's thoughts in a bit. Like she said, Throwback Thursday. You know what that means. It's spoiler time. If you haven't seen the movie, sorry. Go watch it.
It's been out for 5 years.
It's been out for 5 years. You had time. But also, it's fun. Watch it. Gabby's not here. She's off somewhere. Never mind. Before we get into this episode, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment. We need comments. Or some white woman will stick her hands in your mouth looking for gold teeth.
Ugh.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that. Anyway, Colin.
Yes?
Do you remember your first time watching Power Rangers? 2017.
I think I do. Yeah, I think I went and I saw it by myself. I think maybe because when y'all went to see it, I was busy or something, but...
No, you didn't want to see it. I specifically remember that.
Then what changed?
I accidentally scared you off from watching that movie.
That's true, because you showed me the original, which, honey.
Hey.
But yeah, I saw
That
it.
movie's a classic. You guys should go listen to that episode too when you're done with this.
Yeah, it's fun.
I know I saw it in theaters like when it came out.
Fair. Cool. Same, but not the same. Because
Yeah.
I saw it with Demi. Like,
Yeah.
when we saw it, and then you didn't go with us.
Yeah, there was a group of us who went.
Yeah. Even Jesse was there.
Yeah, we went that Thursday night it came out. And there was a number of us who went, and we all sat together. And
Yeah, pretty full theater.
man, I was so excited.
Back when you could still do that.
Right. Everybody was...
I mean, you can again.
Sure. People are doing it. But yeah, I was super excited. I came out. I loved it.
I also came out loving it.
I came out thinking it wasn't for me.
And that's fine.
Yes. The movie is directed by Dean Israelite, who directed Project Almanac and made the Are You Afraid of the Dark reboot. I watched an episode of that, and I was like, this is cool. And then I don't know what happened. I just stopped watching it.
I think we watched that together,
Yeah.
and I think it was like you had to like subscribe to something, or it was only going to
Right.
be available online, and it was just like the extra
Yeah.
effort.
They put the first episode out for free.
That's
and
what it
then
was. Yeah.
I was like, cool. You got me for one. And it was written by John Gatins, or Gattins. He wrote Hardball, Coach Carter, and Flight. So this is very different because those are 3 very black movies.
And very sports movies.
I don't know that Flight is very black or very sports, but it has Denzel Washington.
Well,
in
not
the
Flight,
lead.
sorry, but
yeah,
the other two.
But like Hardball and Coach Carter.
Yeah.
Man. But kids. Different kids, different colors, different colored kids.
Yay.
Different colors, different kids, different colored kids.
Movie stars Dacre Montgomery, Naomi Scott, RJ Seiler, Becky G, Ludi Lin, Bill Hader, Bryan Cranston, and Elizabeth Banks as Rita Raposa. And the IMDb summary says, a group of high school students who are infused with unique superpowers harness their abilities in order to save the world.
You know what you did not mention?
Who did I not mention?
The guy who wrote this movie also wrote Real Steel, and I love Real Steel.
Yes. I for some reason, I usually go for 3, and I just went with Flight. But yes, Real Steel, which is more aligned with this movie's kind of,
Absolutely.
fighting robots and such.
I've seen Real Steel so many times because my younger brother was obsessed with that movie when he was a toddler.
It's fair. It's very Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
And it was great.
And it was great. Initial thoughts, Colin.
Me.
Thought we already got those.
Well, that was like 5 years ago, initial
Ah.
thoughts. What do you think today? We just watched it
Well,
as a group of friends.
technically, I watched like
Half of it.
2/3 of it.
Oh, that's true. Yes, you abandoned us for a bit.
I did, yes. It's interesting because I feel like I don't think I would enjoy Power Rangers being as goofy as it's it originally is.
No, it still is.
Mm.
The
Well,
TV show is
this
still
movie.
goofy.
This
Oh,
well,
he's like,
that's
I don't. Yeah,
as
he's talking about
compared
if this
to
movie
this
was
movie.
that goofy.
Yeah.
No, this movie's not that.
Right. So it's like I don't know.
But I'm
Like
saying
I feel like
Power Rangers overall is still
Oh, fair.
pretty goofy.
Mhm. And this movie felt like it was trying to tone some of that down.
Mm.
It felt a little too CW for me.
Interesting.
Maybe that's because it's hot 30-year-olds playing,
Only one of
17-year-olds.
them was 30.
Fair. Only Ludi Lin was 30. The others were mid to late 20s.
Actually, I think some of them were in their early 20s.
I would assume. I don't know.
Oh,
I think
they
Becky
got bold for that one.
I think Becky G and Naomi Scott were still pretty early in their 20s.
I think Becky G was pretty young.
I think Naomi Scott was only like
Not high school age. but
21,
young.
22.
Demi, what do you think of the movie this time?
Oh, dude, this is one of my feel-good movies, man. I actually watched this movie a few weeks ago, as a matter of fact.
Oh, I didn't know
just
that.
because I just was feeling like pretty low, and I was just like, I'm just gonna throw on movies that I know that I really, really, really like.
Right.
And this was one of the ones that I threw on, and I was watching it. And I was like, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, like a lot.
I feel it. I should make myself a list of comfort movies. So I just got that ready.
Yeah, but also I think I just bought this movie like a year ago
Oh, okay, cool.
because I had thought about it, and I was like, man, I really want to watch that movie.
Right.
Let me go buy it real quick.
The perks of being grown. I still like it a lot. I don't love it as much as I did 5 years ago. I think the excitement and the nostalgia and the being in the theater and all the moments made me love it more.
Theater experiences will do that.
They are great. What did Nicole Kidman say? Heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
She's correct.
All right. That's become such a meme. It's so interesting.
I think I saw a tweet about it. Somebody said that they went to see a movie at an AMC and that thing played twice in a row.
Oh my
Oh
God.
no.
I don't need that.
I forget that it comes on until it comes on, and then I'm like, oh yeah.
Right. I'm like, who's walking? Oh, it's Nicole Kidman again. Right. She's going to tell me about how Heartbreak feels great.
Depending on which version you get. There's also the shortened version.
That's a shortened version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still like it though. It's dope. Let's talk about the story.
Let's do it.
I like it. For me, it does take too long for them to
Set up.
be the Power Rangers, but I like the bonding stuff too. So it's not like I'm bored until they get there. It's just I would like you to get there faster.
I've never agreed with that criticism. While I understand it, I've never agreed with it because I really like that these versions of the Power Rangers have to work to be the Power Rangers. It's not just, here you go. You get armor, you get superpowers, and now go save the world. It's legitimately like, the only way that you guys get to be Power Rangers is if you actually grow as people first.
Right.
Because that's the only way this team is going to work. I think it's also, it works for this version of the Power Rangers because in the OG Power Rangers, as much as we call them teenagers with attitudes, these were teenagers who had like 4.0 GPAs and were doing extracurricular activities. There was no attitude
They had
involved
no attitude. They were the nicest group of teenagers I had ever
that
seen
you could
in my life.
possibly ever meet.
And that white dude who was like 30.
Yeah, and they were also already best friends when they became the Power Rangers. So there is no having to work for that team dynamic. They already have it. In this movie, I like that it's like, no, you can't be Power Rangers until you actually get to become friends and get to become a team. So I think that works. And it's a superhero origin story. They, we're going after the superhero trend that we're currently in.
Right.
So I thought that it worked really well in this situation. I understand wanting to see it sooner, but also if we were getting a sequel, I guarantee you it would have started with that anyway. So I just...
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you get a sequel now, you can just be Power Rangers. But yeah, I would like a balance between they don't need any character growth, like the TV show, and we're getting a whole lot of it before we get them like in this. But I like both versions because nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Colin, what do you think of the story?
I think it works. I would love a peek behind the curtain to see how much money Krispy Kreme poured into this movie.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm sad for the world that this didn't get a sequel, not because I want it, but because this movie feels like a lot of setup. They do fight somebody at the end. That's true. But like, what would they have done if we went a few months in the future and they were more together as a team and they knew more cool stuff? Like, what would that have looked like?
Right.
For me, the formation of teams is never as fun as seeing a team that's been together for a little while and knows each other really well. And I would want to see that. And I feel like this movie, obviously, it's setting them up to do that. But I think it does a little too. It feels like it's kind of just that, and I wish it were more let's also see what they're like as a fully formed team outside of just this one fight.
Right.
I think I also I want to see all of it. So I do want to see them as a team, fully formed and stuff like that. But I also want to see the formation of the team as well. Like, I want all of the content. I want all the things, all of the story that you can possibly give me. And I'm not going to get it, which is very disappointing because there is a lot of really good setup in this movie. Like, I feel like this story still stands on its own. But I think that the story the setup that it does put into it is really good and really, like, could have led to some very potentially interesting places.
Well, I feel like yeah, the story stands on its own in some sense, but you also got to figure, like, you don't form a team to fight evil and fight one evil and go, okay,
Yeah.
we're good. Like, even if they didn't have anything in this movie that said, like, oh, they didn't have, Rita sent a signal to somebody or whatever,
Yeah, this movie doesn't have that.
It doesn't, but just the fact that you formed a team that's supposed to protect the world tells me that more is going to threaten the world, and I would have liked to see what that would be.
Right. And they get the equivalent of Terrence Howard's Next Time, Baby, when he says, I'll come back for it. And then,
I don't think they had plans, like concrete plans to make a sequel.
Wikipedia said they canceled it.
Oh, I didn't see any headway about them saying that they would have one ever.
I think it was supposed to have Zed, which would have been really dope.
Zed would have been so cool. And obviously they were setting up for Tommy to show up, which is what I really want. But also, because we were talking about the story, and I want to talk about, like, the writing. Like, this is one of those movies where I'm like, there are definitely some flaws in the writing. But it's also, like, this is so enjoyable. Like, this is fun. And there's room for improvement.
Right.
And I would have had a lot of fun with that. I know a lot of people didn't like the way that they adapted it from the really corny, campy, cheesy television show that we got in the early 90s. But I think for me personally, I've been wanting a big screen, big budget Power Rangers movie since the first G.I. Joe movie came out with Channing Tatum. That was like 2011? No? Early. It was in the 2000s. So
in the past.
Yeah. So I'd been waiting a while for a live action big budget Power Rangers big screen movie.
Right.
This was the way that I wanted the Power Rangers to be adapted into a kind of a more so a teen drama where the teenagers actually have real world issues that you can relate to. And it's not quite as corny as the old TV show. Yeah, I wanted young adult novel Power Rangers. That was what I had always wanted to see on the big screen. And that's what I got. So I was like, this is great. This is what I wanted to see. And, like, there are different things that I would love to see as well. Actually, you know what? I think I've been wanting to see something like this along these lines since I was about 10 years old. Because it's weird because I would say that Power Rangers has probably been one of the creative influences I had at a young age. Because I just thought it was so cool. Like, here's this team of people who have, like, superpowers and, like, fight bad guys. And they're teenagers who go to high school and stuff like that. And they wear the colors of their ranger and they do all this sort of stuff. Like, when I was a kid, I thought that was, like, super cool. And I used to write stories, like, kind of along those lines.
Right.
So it was one of my first creative influences, I would say. So, yeah. This is kind of what I'd been waiting for since I was 10. And this movie came out when I was 25. Yeah. So
I feel it. I do agree with Colin. It feels pretty CWE, but that sounds like I'm saying CWE, but, like, CW-ish.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just, as long as this movie doesn't suck, I'm going to like it. Because, like you said, I want a big budget, big screen Power Rangers movie. As long as it's not trash, I can make myself enjoy it because it's Power Rangers. Like, if at that time CW said, hey, we're making a Power Ranger show, I would have gave it a shot.
Yeah, I would have given it a shot.
CW shows sometimes run longer than I want to watch them. But this movie is 2 hours. It's not 6 seasons or whatever. So I was like,
or 9 in the case of The Flash.
Or freaking 15.
I was going to say, like, you went 6, you lowballed it.
I lowballed it with, not everything is supernatural. But
yeah, most shows on CW get like 5 and then they call it a day.
Yeah.
How they even get that many when the network is apparently not profitable is the great mystery of our time.
Let's talk about the characters.
The characters are my favorite part of this movie.
They are, most of what the movie leans on because it's teenagers with attitude. So they decided to make the characters different in various ways.
As they should.
Yes. Jason is angry and angsty. Billy is on the autism spectrum. Zach is 35. Trini is gay enough to be different but not gay enough to cause a fuss. And Kimberly is terrible. So I think Demi disagrees with that.
No, I would say that Kimberly.
Hold on. Colin is doing something in his brain mathematically, I think.
Gay enough to be different, but not gay enough to cause a fuss. I'm captivated by that phrase.
You want me to explain it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think I know what you mean though, because I was about to say that I think that Trini wants to be gay enough to cause a problem.
So when the movie came out, you know, every movie does the, hey, look, we have gay representation. And then you watch the movie and it's like, yeah. But you're like just dipping your toe in with it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Trini is like, I don't really like labels and blah, blah, blah. And Zach, you know, his 35-year-old ass is like, girlfriend troubles? And then she says that she doesn't like labels, which she doesn't full on say like, yo, I like chicks. But there's that.
It's very obvious. They're not being subtle.
Right. She's not straight, but the movie doesn't want to full on be like, yo, I'm a lesbian. So on one hand, I don't think it's great that, you know, the LGBT plus representation has to walk on eggshells the way it normally does. But in just the context of this movie, I don't really have a problem with it because not everybody does like labels.
Sure.
So yeah, if Trini herself doesn't want to label her identity, I think that's cool. It's just, this movie came out the same year that Beauty and the Beast movie came out.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we got a gay dude. And it was just him dancing with a guy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like.
And now here we are 5 years later and they're finally saying that they didn't do enough. So.
Right, so it's just, a lot of movies will do gay enough to be different, but not gay enough to cause a fuss. Because, you know, when you make a character gay, then you get certain countries going to boycott it. And then old people are like, the gays are trying to make our kids gay with the movies.
I also would argue that that is the character herself, though. Because she is trying not to cause a fuss.
With her family?
Within her family, yeah, because of her sexuality. So it is.
Yeah, it works on two levels.
It's a 2-level. It fits.
Narratively and from a movie.
But I do remember really appreciating that type of storyline because I felt like it was kind of relatable. You know, because like, yeah, she's gay. She's not at a point where she's like, I can be openly this.
Also, she might be bi or something. Like she might.
You're right.
She could be asexual. I don't know. She doesn't say. So.
And you may never know.
We may never.
We'll never know.
But yeah, I think Kimberly sucks. And it's because she's sending what we can infer and not even really have to infer to be revenge porn.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that this is what makes a villain on like certain like Degrassi, 13 Reasons Why. I've never seen 13 Reasons Why, but it feels like the kind of thing they would have.
I've never seen that show.
But in this situation, it's one of our main
heroes.
Yeah, and it's just, I wish they would have done something else with her.
I think I don't find her to be terrible. I think what she does is a terrible thing. I think it's what she
like
says
what
in the
Jason
movie.
Says.
Yeah, it's what she and Jason say in the movie. It's a terrible thing. She absolutely should not have done it. And she realizes that she shouldn't have done it. It'd be one thing if like they were like, hey, she sent revenge porn, but she doesn't feel any regret about it.
She had it coming.
She had it coming. No, she legitimately does feel regret about what she did.
Yeah.
And I think in the beginning of the movie, she tries to pretend and play off like what she did wasn't so horrible or like she didn't do something that was so terrible. But I think as the movie goes on, like she's like, okay, yeah, no, I did something really, really terrible. I did something awful.
Right, I shouldn't be a Power Ranger.
Feel like a horrible person because I did this thing. And I think Jason's right in what he told her. Like, yes, you did a terrible thing. So be a better person. You want to be a better person? Go be a better person.
Right.
So I don't think she is a terrible person. I think what she did. I think what she did was awful, though. I'm like, whoa, buddy, what?
I feel like when you're making a movie and you have a limited, amount of time to work with these characters, it's dangerous territory. Because if I know someone in real life, and I've known them for a while, I know they're a solid dude. I know Colin. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
If tomorrow I found out that he kicked a puppy, I would.
That's a choice.
I would have some concerns, and I would think, Colin, why did you do such a horrible thing? But knowing who Colin is for the last few years, I wouldn't just think he's a terrible person. But introducing a character in a movie and you drop that on him, it's like, yo.
But the movie does this thing where it would be one thing if that's the first thing they introduced to us about her. It's not. The movie goes out of its way to show you she is a good person. She is a good friend. And then it drops the bomb on you that she did something terrible.
Personally, I don't know that the movie gave me enough, this is a good person, as just, she's here with the homies. But like, obviously, I do like the scene where she wants to help save Billy and all that stuff.
And I think that placement of that scene is also very impactful and very much it's supposed to be a statement on that because she is the one who is very stern about getting Billy back.
Yeah, I like that.
She
like, that
takes
was good.
control in that. Jason's supposed to be the leader, but in that moment, Kimberly goes, help me pick him up.
Yeah, Jason's like the last one to do anything, which is weird because this is his fault because they were all going to go. Billy said, let's go talk to Zordon because I don't know if we can fight this crazy white lady. And Jason gives his terrible freaking pep talk. Hey, we failed. We're bad at being superheroes. We shouldn't. We're pretty bad, guys. Let's go fight this woman. And then Billy dies. And then Kimberly is yelling at everyone, pick him up, pick him up. And Zach has to like nudge Jason, like, yo, pick him up.
Although I guess you could say he's in shock. So that could be, you know.
Definitely. But
if I saw somebody die, I too would be like, yo.
Nigga, you are the leader.
Whoa. What are we doing?
We all saw somebody die. We got to hop to it, Jason.
We got to go.
But yeah. Also, the thing about, and this is more of a movie thing than a Kimberly thing.
Yep.
The thing with her remorse is I definitely feel it, but toward the end, when she drops that thing on those girls' car and they're like, that's what you get.
That's the one part I don't understand.
That shouldn't be there because all these girls did was be mad at you for sending revenge porn.
Yeah, like that's
they're well within their rights.
That is definitely a flaw of the movie because everything else in the movie is pointing at the opposite direction.
Right, everything points to her feeling really bad about this.
Yeah.
But I feel like they wanted that, like, oh, we're at the fun part of the movie. Haha, let's get the bullies.
And it's like, no, that doesn't work here.
No. Leave that out. But yeah, that's more of that little thing.
They could have cut out her response to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's like the one issue I have with, I was like, this is like the big flaw in her storyline is keeping this in.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it I think works perfectly.
Yeah, it
fine.
didn't help with the remorse.
Yeah.
Colin, what do you think of the characters? You like these different colored kids?
They're cool.
Oh man.
They're there. I do think that the bonding scene that Demi likes so much is a really good scene for
The campfire scene?
I love that scene. It's my favorite scene.
Like, getting to know these kids and like who they are, and I think that was really good. I think they work like as a team. That if you told me, you know what, there are going to be more of these movies, and you're going to watch them, and they're going to be the people you follow, like I'd be like, all right, cool.
I feel it.
It works.
I like these actors too.
Yeah, I think
I think they're good.
I think that's one of the things that lifts up the movie because I think that the cast themselves had a lot of great chemistry. And like, yeah, me and you were just kind of debating about Kimberly. And I think Kimberly would come off worse were it not for the chemistry that all these people have together. Because they are all so good together and good as friends. And you want to see them succeed as friends. It automatically uplifts each and every one of them into a new place, in my opinion.
Yeah, and showing how much they care for each other, it does help to know, like, okay, yeah, you did that thing, but you have emotions and such. You care about some people.
Even though Zach doesn't have much storyline time, I do like his story with his mom.
Right.
That's one of the things of why I really love the campfire scene. I remember watching it for the first time and being like, I wasn't expecting anything this emotional to be in this movie.
Right.
And like watching this guy like talk about how much he loves his mom, but how much he's also afraid of her mortality, and he's afraid of going home and she's not going to be alive anymore. Like I was like, yo, bro, this is deep.
It got real really fast.
It got real fast in that scene. And, you know, and then like we were talking about the Trini's kind of come out in that scene as well. Billy confessing that it's been hard since his dad died, but you know, he enjoys having this group of people around him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most fun he's had since his father died. If these characters weren't as dynamic as they are and didn't work as well together as they do, I don't think this movie would work.
It definitely wouldn't, because, you know, although we fall on different sides of the they take too long to be Power Rangers argument, when you are going to take that time, you need the characters to work well, and you need us to care about them, because a lot of it is we're bonding, we're at Krispy Kreme, we're fighting, we're training, we're doing a campfire, we're at Krispy Kreme, one of us is dying, we're at Krispy Kreme. So you need the characters to be strong, and they did a good job. Yeah. And it helps that the actors are good.
And also, you know, with it definitely being, it's got so much influence from The Breakfast Club, especially towards the beginning of the movie. It's so important that you have these characters who you can like, who definitely cause trouble.
Because I don't like The Breakfast Club. And I think a lot of that is...
You don't like the characters
I don't like them kids. Like, they're not all bad, but... Emilio Estevez, this is not a Breakfast Club review. But,
we've already done that. You guys can check out that Throwback Thursday as well.
Well, yeah, check that out. and let me know how it is because I do not remember it.
Yeah, no, I really like these characters. I really like this group of people. This is why I want a sequel so bad, because I like this particular group. Like, I already loved these characters from the OG show.
Right.
And I really liked the way that they changed them up for this movie. Like, yeah, okay, maybe it's CW-ish, but I occasionally like CW shows. So
Same. I've had some CW. Like, I watch All American every once in a while.
the originals, oh my goodness, so good.
CW, it's not all misses over there.
It's not.
It's just, they have a certain,
They have a vibe.
reputation. It's very dramatic. It's like, if you're into that, you're into that. And sometimes you just want to see some superheroes.
They have a YA aesthetic. It's okay. I like
do.
YA stuff. But yeah, I really like these characters, and I wanted to see more of them. Come on, Hasbro, please.
Also, he doesn't do a lot, but I really like Alpha 5. Bill Hader is great
He's so funny.
as Alpha 5.
Bryan Cranston is a really good Zordon.
He is. Performance-wise, he is. I didn't like them making Zordon mean because I grew up as a kid with, the show having no real negative emotions. It's just everybody's good at what they do and they're happy.
The conflict was that it was good versus evil, and
exactly.
that was
the only conflict was there are monsters. We need to fight them. But there was no conflict in between the group. Right. But Zordon is just like, yo, y'all suck. And I kind of hate you from the jump. These kids, this your king?
Is this your king?
But he eventually starts to believe in them. But it's just, we got to get there. And he is not liking. He's like, get out. You're trash. I hate you. Honestly, when Billy died and they brought him back, that kind of scary scene happens when Zordon is trying to come back.
Yeah.
And he says only one could return. I fully expected Zordon to step over that little nigga's body. I did not, because the way Zordon has been presented,
that's a different Power Rangers movie
he's
altogether.
not going to bring back this random kid instead of bring himself back. His whole thing was, I need these kids to bring me back. And, obviously character growth and such. And it'd be a very different movie if Billy just stayed dead.
Yeah.
And now they have Bryan Cranston with him.
But also, that's probably my second favorite scene in the movie.
It's a very good scene.
It's such a good scene.
But man, I thought he was just going Allen Iverson step over Billy. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about your friend. Let's do this.
Fun fact, if I'm remembering correctly, the reason why Billy's last name is Cranston is because of Bryan Cranston.
It is. Yeah, he's named after him because Bryan Cranston played.
He was two villains on the OG Power
the
Rangers.
early show. So they named
literally
him.
the OG Power Rangers TV show, guys.
So they named him Billy Cranston.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that he came to be Zordon. Just mean about it. And then there's Rita.
I will say this. Rita does feel like she belongs in a different movie.
They went so serious with a lot of this.
Yeah.
And not her.
It's very weird because it's like, I love Elizabeth Banks' performance as Rita, but also, does it belong here?
It's one of those situations where performance, you went all out, I respect it, good job, but not here. I don't think this is what you should have been directed to do. I think you followed the direction. I don't like the direction. It's so, I don't know. Colin, what do you think about Rita?
It's weird.
I think it's kind of like Demi said, she feels like she doesn't fit in with, because the tone the movie is going for feels very real is the term I want to use. What if teens got superpowers? How would that go? Teens with attitude, teens with problems, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And then she's over here talking about Krispy Kreme every 5 minutes and being like a Shakespearean actor level of dramatic. And it's if the rest of this movie were as goofy as you were, I'd be like, cool. Right. This works. Yeah. But she does feel like she was plucked from the original Power Rangers, but then not altered to fit what this movie is. Yeah. I like her as a villain. She's cool. And it's simple enough, right? Mm-hmm. She wants to get a crystal. She wants to kill people. Cool. Solid. You don't need any more than that. That works. I wish that either she were toned down or the movie were toned up, but there were a match there. Yeah,
there's a disconnect there.
Although there is, her entrance into the movie, though, fits perfectly with the rest of the film.
The way she comes in at the docks?
Yeah, with the fishing boat and she kills somebody?
That scene is from a horror movie. That doesn't fit this movie at all for me.
Okay, I think it fits, though, because it fits the moodiness. It's
very dark.
Yeah, it
is very dark.
It fits the aesthetic of the film.
But her first few scenes are James Wan movies. This is malignant.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, she did her thing performance-wise. It just, what a thing to do.
I will say this, though, continuing on my wasted potential. The relationship that this Rita would have with this universe's Tommy, oh my gosh, it would probably be the most screwed up thing that you've ever seen in Power Rangers, and I want to see it.
I don't want to see it. It's just, Because, whoever they got to play Tommy would probably be 25, but the character would be a high schooler. And Rita's,
I don't think they would go that far, but I think it would be a very odd relationship.
It would definitely be weird and off-putting. Just everything about her is weird and off-putting.
Like, I like the idea of it being a very weird and off-putting relationship.
You think she would stick her fingers in his mouth? Like she did
Well, wait, maybe. Maybe. You know what? One of the things I didn't mention about the story was one of the things that I loved was when the movie started, because I don't think we knew this, but the first time we saw it was introducing Zordon and Rita as former Power Rangers.
I did like that. That was an interesting dynamic.
I loved that story change and the way that it kind of connected these characters together.
Yeah.
Kind of worked thematically. Also, because I wanted a sequel so bad from the minute this movie started, I was like, oh my gosh, Rita's the original Green Power Ranger. When she finally gets to Tommy, it's going to be so much more interesting than her just being a random villain.
Right.
Rita training Tommy and Zordon training Jason, like that just seemed like such an interesting story to follow. And it looks like that probably would have been the direction they would have gone in. And just, wasted potential.
Also, I don't like I'm a villain and I'm going to destroy everything. As far as like that's the motivation, I think that's pretty weak. So I like her connection to Zordon.
Yeah.
It is still that she wants that power and she wants to destroy things, but at least there's that
personal element to it.
Right. There's a personal, we were teammates. I don't really rock with you like that. You wouldn't be shooting in the gym, et cetera, et cetera.
Yo, Saban, seriously, just call me. I will write the sequel. I got you. Just let me do it.
Ludi Lynn like 52 right now.
I don't care.
Just kidding. Hey, Ludi. We like you around here.
We actually do, yeah. Mortal Kombat, Power Rangers, killing it out here, bro.
Black Mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Does this thing. Oh, Goldar. And this is kind of like a borderline visuals and sound thing.
It is.
Colin, have you seen what Goldar looked like before?
He's like a lion dude.
He's a blue furry.
It's like a blue wolfy thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Follow-up question. Are you disappointed by the furry erasure and making him just a big gold thing?
Not... See, here's the thing, is if he, as he looks in the show, had been in this movie, I feel like he wouldn't have fit. So...
I see what you mean.
I feel like what they did was probably better for what this movie is.
But that is not the question that I asked.
Are you disappointed by the furry erasure?
Right, because, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. Personally, I don't have a problem with Elizabeth Banks' performance, but I am a little disappointed because it's technically whitewashing, because Rita's originally Asian. She's an alien,
These are
the
not
actress is Asian.
On the same level, and you know that.
No.
Not even.
Not even close.
Not even close.
But since we're talking about erasure, do you have problems with the furry erasure?
I mean, no.
Okay.
Like, it's fine.
I feel like you would have to actually care about the original show to actually
That's
care.
the thing, yeah.
Well,
see,
I'm
that's
gonna stop making comparisons to watching because I don't want to do that anymore. It's not the same. We know this. I'm disappointed, not from a furry standpoint, but just because Goldar is a character in the original one.
Yep.
And now he's just a tall weapon.
Yeah.
Like he talks and everything. He's real goofy.
He reminded me in this of the I don't remember what they're called, but the thing in Thor 1.
Oh yes. It was very that.
Yeah. I understand once again, I understand the criticism because Goldar is legitimately a character in the original show. I don't think I had an issue with it just because I think I just go into these things and I'm just like, you're readapting this into a whole different universe.
Right.
I can always go back and watch the original show if I really, really want to. So I was just like, I wanted to see what they would do with it. And yeah, they used Goldar as more of a plot device and more of an explanation of how this universe works, more so than anything else. But I mean, that leads us basically into visuals and sound.
Yes, it does.
Because one of the things that I did like, though, was that he fit into the aesthetic of this movie. And I think a lot of people had issues with the aesthetic of it, but I loved it. This very alien, not of this world sci-fi vibe that they were giving, because I was like, yeah, if you're gonna readapt it and like you're gonna make these things from outer space, let's make it look like it.
Right. I like the suits. They were pretty dope.
I love the suits. Everybody complained about the suits when they first
Which is why I think they look really good.
I have a question about the suits that I was, it's possible that this was answered in the portion where I wasn't there, but so the suits, the face is like a mask, right? And it covers the whole face.
Yes.
So if they're talking, the lips wouldn't move.
I don't think they
That's what I was trying to figure out is, do the lips move or do they just have lips on the mask for no reason?
It's more like a helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that freaked me out.
The lips.
The lips that wouldn't move. Like,
It's it's aesthetic choice.
Goes from the OG.
Yeah.
Takes cues from the OGs. Yeah, no, I actually really liked the aesthetic of this movie. I liked their suits. Like,
Same.
yeah, if you're gonna introduce me to this movie and you're gonna tell me that these people are alien, then yeah, their suits probably should look like they just came crashing down from a different planet.
I feel you. They are pretty humanoid, but the aliens are pretty humanoid, so it's fine. Like, it was just Bryan Cranston, but gray with a big head. So
There was also the other alien, the Yellow Ranger that he was talking to as well.
Yes. But she was also like, she had a human face and such, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
They were
so it
humanoid.
works.
But it was humanoid enough, but also just there's still something very alien and different
Right.
about
Like,
it.
this is clearly an alien.
Yeah, this is not human. And it's the same with their tech. I feel like their Zords look like what aliens think these animals are supposed to look like.
Yeah. Like the Mastodon has 6 legs,
Something like that, yeah.
which is an interesting choice. But now I'm thinking about the aliens thing, and Rita just looks like a white woman.
Rita might be human.
Why would she be human?
I don't know. Maybe
How could she be human? They were around 65 million years
you're
ago.
right. That's right.
Maybe she's a different species of alien. I don't know. Original.
She
Rita
does
was
kind of
just
look
an
weird,
Asian.
though, because she's got the things. at
Yeah,
the
she has that,
forehead.
like-
She's not quite human.
Yeah, there's some. She's like Star Trek alien.
Yeah. There's
Anyway.
something going on.
Yeah, the Zords were cool. I didn't really like the. Man, I was gonna say I didn't really like the black one. I don't like that sentence at all. I didn't really like the Mastodon because yes, it has 6 legs, and also with the aesthetic they went for, that one's harder to kind of
Yeah.
make out what it is. Like a T-Rex is obvious. The Sabretooth looks cool, but that
Pterodactyl.
one was just kind of like a big Volkswagen looking thing. It wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, but I think this time around watching it, I realized more and more how much the Zords matched aesthetically with the actual ship that they go to train.
Right.
Because when they're hiding from Alpha 5, I was like, oh, the way that the architecture works is very similar to the way that their Zords look, which is very cool. I like that it all connected together. It all made sense.
Yeah.
I know that, Power Rangers, one of the things that I loved about the original Power Rangers was Red Ranger wears red all the time. Pink Ranger wears pink all the time. This movie does that, but is subtle about it, which I appreciate.
I didn't like it. Don't be subtle. Make Jason a blood. Make Billy a Crip.
I don't need all that.
Flame Jason up. I want all red everything. I want all blue everything on Billy. Zach got to be goth. What, Colin?
I feel like you say that, but you wouldn't actually want it.
Yo, fam. If Billy came
I'm sorry.
in,
Do you want what's her name, Trini, out here looking like a banana?
yes,
No.
yes, yellow everything, yellow hat, yellow shirt, but it's fine.
I'm here for the more subtle. Like, you could maybe be a little bit more blatant about it, but I was like, I'm okay with the subtlety here. I don't need you to be, as you said,
You're gonna be affiliated,
Yeah.
and that adds another level of the bonding because it's like, oh man, you're a blood, I'm a Crip, but we're coming together.
No, it's
Putting our
not.
differences
That's not what's
aside.
happening here at all.
Putting our differences aside
That's
in
not what's happening at
detention,
all.
like the Breakfast Club.
Nope. I also like I like the visuals on the film. There's like a few shots in this movie that I really, really like. I talked about how I really liked the while we were watching it, the spin around shot at the beginning when Jason is
the
driving
car.
away.
That was a cool one.
I love that shot. I felt like that was pretty perspective driven.
Mm-hmm. Colin was unsettled by the shot of the black man standing above the white man. Right, Colin?
That's
Is that what it was?
not what was unsettling.
It was
about
that shot, though, right?
Yeah, it was the angle of that shot,
I got it.
but it wasn't.
Oh, it's an off kilter
that
shot.
wasn't.
You should be unsettled.
I was just describing the shot. I wasn't saying that was the reason.
No,
why.
but
unsettled by the
you are a man with a very vast lexicon, and you very specifically choose your words.
Visuals are cool. Let's talk about the sound.
Oh, actually, no. There's one more visual I want
what's
to
that?
talk about. The fight scenes. Because there were a couple of times where I pointed out while we were watching it that it felt very much like the OG Power Rangers without being super corny.
Right, there weren't sparks flying everywhere.
Like, there was like dramatic kind of flips in the air, but it didn't feel like we're doing it flamboyantly, I guess. It just feels like, yeah, you got hit really hard with the energy like staff just now.
Right.
And that probably really hurts when you hit the ground.
Right, the flips were for functional purposes, not just because this looks cool.
Yeah.
Like if I'm flailing my arms around, it's because I want to hit somebody, and the black dude's not pop locking in every scene.
It's helpful.
It does help. It does help.
But now we can move on to sound.
Yes, the sound. The soundtrack is fire.
Yo, this soundtrack is
I
fire.
really like the soundtrack, and there's so many songs that are by people I don't know. I know one song from Fits in the Tantrums and it's Hand Clap, And I know one song by
clap.
Watch Me Walk guy. Jay Watts, maybe? I don't know. I'm going to fact check that. To me, how do you feel about the soundtrack?
Oh, I love the soundtrack. I think immediately after the first time we saw this movie, I downloaded Unstoppable by, I think they're called The Score.
I know one song by The Score. It's Unstoppable.
I love that song. It's fantastic. That's like a hype me up song.
It's a really good hype song.
It was a really good end song for the movie. I really
love
liked it.
that last shot. Like the way they're past the thing and then it hits and the song comes in hella hard. If I went to the gym, that would be on my gym playlist.
I think it used to be on my gym playlist when I used to go a lot.
Same. I did actually go to the gym at some point.
Yeah. There were just like some really good tracks in this movie. And then on top of that, like me and you talked about how we were very happy that they actually used Power by Kanye West in the movie and not just in the trailer.
I think I cheered, which is funny because it was right after, like shortly after they used the original theme song.
It was immediately after.
Yeah, and I cheered for that too. I was like, oh man, now I love this movie.
And then, Go Go Power Rangers, the OG
love it.
Theme song. I liked the reference to using I've Got the Power.
Yeah, that was really dope.
From the OG Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. And, I did not anticipate that. And I remember the first time seeing the movie and just being so happy because I was like, oh my gosh, they did the reference to I've Got the Power.
And they brought in Vince Staples, and I love Vince Staples.
Yes.
It just made me so happy.
That soundtrack slaps.
It does.
It's such a good soundtrack, bro.
Fantastic.
Has no reason to be that good. But also, I really like the score on this, too. I was talking about that. I've always really liked it, but I don't think I've ever really paid attention. Mm-hmm. But this time around, I was like, I kind of like it because it's got like a Stranger Things kind of feel.
Yeah.
Which works because, teenagers, aliens, and weird monsters, and finding yourself, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It fits.
It has all that. Colin, sound, visuals, colors.
It's a movie.
It's got some colors.
They got some colors.
We do like some colors. And like I do like the weird alien architecture. Like that is pretty fun.
Right?
Yeah.
Aliens are fun.
It's just in. Dallas is into aliens. More on this as it develops.
Wow.
Colin, what's your favorite thing about the movie?
Well, what's my favorite thing about the movie?
Is it the way that Rita be dripping every time we see her?
No, that makes me uncomfortable. I think it's just the number of times that they say Krispy Kreme in this movie.
Krispy Kreme do slap.
Product placement.
Some strong product placement.
I kind of wonder what this movie would be if it didn't have that product placement.
They would have to find it somewhere else, like a Taco Bell or something.
Or, just a regular building. My favorite part about this movie is the characters in the cast. I remember being super excited when Naomi Scott got cast because, I'd been a fan of her since like 2013 because of Lemonade Mouth. And I'd been hoping for her to get picked up in like bigger projects, which, Power Rangers. And then not only was she going to be in a big Power Rangers movie, but she was literally playing my favorite Power Ranger from my childhood, which was the Pink Ranger. Not including Tommy. We do not. Everybody's favorite Power Ranger is Tommy, but excluding Tommy, my favorite Power Ranger was always Kimberly. I always wanted to be the Pink Ranger. So the fact that an actress who I loved was playing my favorite Power Ranger, and not just the Pink Ranger, she was playing Kimberly Hart.
Right.
I loved Kimberly, so I was very happy about that. But yeah, the characters are one of my favorite things. I told you about what might be an Easter egg, but might not be an Easter egg in the movie. I said that I know Naomi Scott from Lemonade Mouth.
Oh, right.
There's the note that they pass around in detention that says we should start a band. Lemonade Mouth was literally a movie about a group of kids who meet in detention who start a band. And I was just like, is this on purpose? Was this a purposeful Easter egg because of Naomi's old Disney Channel movie? What the heck? Okay.
I rock with it.
And then also, this movie has cameo appearances from Amy Jo Johnson and Jason David Frank, a.k.a. the OG Kimberly and Tommy, and also probably my first ship ever in life. So.
Oh, man. I got to think. What was my first ship ever? I'm not going to have time to think about that now, but we are going to have that conversation.
Yeah, because I remember when we went to see it in theaters, I was the person who started the applause they popped up on screen. I was so happy to see them. That was the cameo appearance I wanted. I was like, if any Rangers show up, it's got to be Kim and Tommy.
I wanted the Black Ranger.
I used to know him.
I know. You tell me, man. I wanted him because, I'm black. My favorite thing about this movie is when they become the Power Rangers because...
It's also a dope scene.
It's so dope. Like, the morphing scene is dope. They use the original song. They use Power by Kanye. They fight in the Zords. Rita's not dripping anymore. Just like so many things about it that make me like that part of the movie.
I also think that, it helps that it feels like we've earned it, but also the characters by this point have earned it.
Billy died.
Yeah, Billy died.
If anyone earned it, this nigga, whew, straight up died.
I also appreciate that Billy is the heart of the movie,
As he should be.
as he should be.
Shout
also,
out to RJ.
like the representation of autism in the film,
Oh yeah.
because he's, you know, I feel like there's a certain way that people kind of portray autistic people,
Mhm.
and I feel like I love the fact that Billy is so loved in this movie, and like
Right.
he's the heart. Everybody loves him. He's such a good person, and also just like he's incredibly smart. You need Billy in this movie.
Yeah, he figures out Krispy Kreme, it's the secret to everything.
Yeah,
Krispy Kreme is the answer to all life's problems because Lionsgate
it
cashed
might
that
be.
check. But also Krispy Kreme is fire, so
It is.
Krispy Kreme, cut us a check. I will say Krispy Kreme 10 times in every episode going forward if you give us money. Don't think I won't.
I mean, technically, there is a future of the franchise, just not this.
Yes, there is a planned reboot.
From Hasbro, because Hasbro has officially bought the Saban, which is why they kind of didn't also go through with the sequel,
Word.
because it's a different studio.
Yeah. We don't know a lot about it.
There's something about time travel.
Yeah, they said the plot will reportedly involve time travel and be set in the 90s. I think that's dope because the 90s is the reason why I love the Power Rangers. So make it 90s and I'm with it.
Okay, so here's the thought. Here's the thought. Hasbro Saban, hear me out, man.
Oh my God.
So go ahead and make this movie. But also, you can have another Power Rangers movie. Like, you can definitely make a sequel to this one. You can have both. I don't see why we can't have both. I don't see why a multiverse
To me-
can't work.
These niggas are old.
I think
I
that
don't
ship has
care,
already
Dallas.
sunk to the bottom of the bay. Like, it's
I'm
not,
still going to keep asking. I would like it. You guys can make an animated series or an animated movie. I don't care. I just want to see it
Ooh,
continue.
I would love a Power Rangers animated series.
Or an anime. Please. I feel like this would be awesome. Like,
And this is the difference between me and Demi, because Demi is her heart is set on a sequel with this cast, and I do like this cast.
here's the thing. I'm going to watch the new Power Rangers. It doesn't matter.
yeah. My thing is just I don't need a sequel. I just need more Power Rangers. So if you do a reboot, I'm just as happy.
I don't know if I'm just
For me,
happy.
it's give me more Power Rangers. That's not the 90s one because, you know, I loved it as a kid. But I can't watch that anymore. It's just
We've aged out of that.
so silly. But yeah, so I'm here for whatever you're going to do. Just make it good. And I'm with it.
I mean, yeah, I'm with it, but I also would like a sequel.
Also, we have a fan cast, so if you guys want to use that.
I was about to
Cut us
say,
a check.
like, literally when we did our fan cast, I literally just fan casted the entirety of this cast and some other people. But
You did.
I stand by my 2017 Power Rangers. Also, I just want one sequel just so I can get Tommy and just
fair.
so I can get Tommy and Kim. Because I know whoever they would have cast, him and Naomi, it would have been a moment. Kim and Tommy would have been the moment again. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Oh, boy. All right, well, that's Power Rangers. Any final thoughts on that movie? Colin?
You know, it feels weird that it's kind of like dead in the water, but they're making another one that's a reboot. Like, just make a sequel to this one. You already have one. It's not like this movie is terrible. Like, what are you doing?
It'd be like that sometimes.
It do. Like, I get
Spider-Man?
it's a different studio, but like, just
Makes me sad.
make a sequel to this one. That's okay.
Is this a perfect movie? No. There is a lot of flaws in here, but I love just about every second of it. I love watching this movie. I have so much fun, and I cannot explain. Like, sometimes it's not about how good a movie is. Sometimes it's about how it makes you feel, and this movie makes me feel good. So
I feel that. I feel that about so many things. Movies, a lot of the time. It's just, do I like this movie? Yes. Would I like this movie as much if I didn't have a love for Power Rangers?
probably not.
Probably not. But
But
that's
that
why
could-
I'm watching a Power Rangers movie.
But that could be said about anything that's from an IP. So
Exactly. Like, I watch these things because they're based on things I like. So, yeah, I'm going to be biased. That's how these things work. That's why they keep making things based on things that we liked. They know how it works.
and it's easy.
And it's easy. All right, that's Power Rangers. Now we have different opinions. Start with YouTube. First comment is from our Throwback Thursday of Selena. Phantom Plus says, "God damn, you guys come for everything I thought I liked." I'm sorry.
We're not.
They really do.
We're not intentionally coming for anything. We express our opinions, and if those opinions happen to sound aggressive, like that happens, but we're not. I mean, I'm not intentionally trying to say, oh, I think this is bad or whatever. It's just
Right.
like, I don't rock with that movie.
I do try to make them sound a lot less aggressive in the edit.
I don't, yeah, and in this case, we weren't even really that aggressive. I don't like that movie either, but I come for things I like.
Oh, we made so many jokes about Mr. Freeze the other couple weeks ago.
Right, like the jokes. I'll go at any movie, even if the movie is one that I enjoy.
Me and Dallas were making jokes about Power Rangers
All through the movie, and through this.
Had a great time.
Fun time. We that's how we talk about movies. Speaking of how we talk about movies, a comment on the Godfather throwback from Phantom Plus again. It just says, "I have no words."
I gotta be honest here, guys. I actually think that the Godfather episode is one of our better episodes because I really did think that Dallas and Colin were gonna roast the movie the entire way through, and to my surprise, they didn't, and actually gave a very good analysis of the film. So kudos to them on that.
Thank you.
I feel like
I worry.
people, and I include myself in this because I think I'm guilty of this too. When someone talks about something that you hold dear, I think there is a knee-jerk reaction to take it personally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, some of us more than others.
Some of us more than others.
Well,
But
some of
yeah,
us have also spent our entire life having people trash the things that they like. So
there's that.
That does
right?
make it worse.
And it's like there needs to be a way to sort of deal with that because, like, if you love The Godfather, that's great. I don't. I respect that you do, but I'm going to talk about why I don't like this movie or do or whatever. But that doesn't mean I think your opinion is invalid or lesser because you like it. It's just, yeah, we don't vibe.
Yeah, I like that movie. It's funny because it says I have no words, but you found the words because it's
in that voice message that he sent you. So one of the greatest voice messages I've ever heard.
Shout out to Phantom Bless.
That's really good.
But yeah, great.
We're here to have a good time, guys.
We're here to have a good time.
And we hope you guys are having a good time.
Also, we have a comment from Instagram on
Oh,
our post about The Godfather
nice.
from Mandemonium57, aka Amanda.
Hey.
Hey Amanda, how you doing? Comment, it says, I haven't seen this cracked clip. For context, I was talking about the
Yes.
cracked video where Hagen has to drag that horse all the way through it's the whole thing. Watch
Yeah.
the episode. I haven't seen this cracked clip, but I played the Godfather video game for PlayStation 2. One of the missions is actually helping Tom Hagen sneak the horse head into that dude's room. Luckily, the violence is only implied and not shown there as well. It was actually a pretty fun GTA wannabe style game. That is an insane thing to put in your video game.
I mean, I feel like you have to, right? Because if you're making an adaptation of a movie into a video game, you have to hit certain iconic moments, and that is
Definitely.
absolutely one of them. But like, was it a stealth mission or?
I feel like it,
It
has to be. Yeah, you're sneaking
but
the
you're
horse
carrying
head
a horse
around,
head.
which-
How stealthy can you be?
Pretty stealthy.
That's
There's more
the
than one.
premise of the question. Like, you're sneaking a bleeding horse head into a dude's room, into his bed sheets.
Oh, yeah.
The stealth is on another level. But yeah, thank you, Amanda, for telling me that because I didn't know. That is a hilarious idea for a mission to me. Video games. They be wildin'. And that's all our comments.
That's all we've got for you guys today.
That is all we got for you today. Thank you for listening.
Woo.
And always, thank you to Crown Digital, Brandon, and Aya for putting us on Spotify and the Apple Podcast. Thank you, Demi, for joining me and talking about this movie that we love.
Once you said that you wanted to do an episode about this movie, I was like, I absolutely have to be in it. I love this movie too much.
Right. Got to reel you in sometimes. Colin, thank you for providing the perspective of someone who had a lesser childhood. We appreciate that.
Jeez, dang.
Anyway, audience, let us know. What do you think of Power Rangers? Do you have nostalgia for the old ones? Do you like Krispy Kreme? If so, let us know in the comments or hit us on Twitter at y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, or Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC. If you want to talk about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or, this movie, anything Power Rangers, that's not like one of the other 21 continuities of Power Rangers because I didn't watch those.
23
There's a lot of them.
total.
There's too many. Not those.
There's about 25.
Find me on Twitter and or Instagram at a king named Simba.
You can find me on Twitter at Duck McGuck.
Yo, so you can talk to me about like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Wild Force, Dino Thunder, Ninja Storm, SPD, or Mystic Force on Twitter and Instagram at Dreamy Films. Dreamy is spelled DREEMI. Thanks again for joining us.
There's so many. You can find Gabby on Twitter at Make Goldar Furry Again. That is Gabby's Twitter.
Oh, I laughed a little louder than I was than I anticipated.
It's okay. It was a good one. All right. It's been different. Bye.
Bye.
So question.
Okay.
So answer.
Do y'all think?
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a good director I think might be racist adjacent. Do you think would make a Power Rangers movie if he knew that he could have a powerful dude named the White Power Ranger?
I can't do this.